Welcome to Worldwide Ramblings. It's 10:10. That means I'm 10 minutes late. I hate that. But one thing leads to another. And I was a little bit delayed getting here. Brad came in at the same time. I wanted him to do what he had to do, but I really should have been up here a lot earlier. So I apologize for my tardiness. It is Saturday, the 24th of May, 2025. If you're watching this live, we'll say hello to Neo. Hey, Teresa. Panel is here. I think I should change that to Panel. It's just, it's got a better ring to it, Gives you that European flair, Good evening, Jack and all. Brenda Noyce is here. Welcome, Brenda. Randy Mancini, doing this without, could be an H in there, which would change it, wouldn't it? I think. No, it's Mancini. Hi. Susie Q, Susie Young. Katina Swatsworth. Hey, Jack and everyone. Patrick Wilburn. Good evening, everyone. Been a while. I don't think it's been too long. I think I remember it from last Saturday night at least. Been a while since I watched live. Belinda Taylor. Hey, hey, hey. And Tim. And in parentheses, small Tim Spencer. Hello, Jack. Hi. Judy Bausch is here. Hello, Jack and friends. Jupiter's Realm. Welcome to you. Rondo Wolf in Arkansas. Hi, Jack and all. Nancy DeMarco. Hi, Jack and family. Enjoying Orlando. Oh, dear. I bet you are, huh? I don't blame you at all. I don't blame you at all. What's the temperature in Orlando right now? Heather is here. Hi, Heather. Hi, everybody. She says Cheryl Chambers, Sandra Fair, and Pam Nisley. Howdy all from beautiful Montana, especially this time of the year, right? Jackie Wurlitzer, Oregon is here. Hi, Jack and everyone. And Robin Roman. Hello, Jack and family. For the first time, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to you in 4K vision. So put on your special glasses that I hope you have ready. And the new camera is here. And there's still glare on one or two of the pictures. Definitely is crisper and cleaner. Has incredible zoom power, which I really don't need. But here's the camera right here. Here's the camera that came in so fast on Amazon, You guys bought this. It came out of the July 21st Google deposit into my account. That's where it came from. So you guys bought this, and then of course there's all the wonderful people that contribute on the Cash App and the thanks button that's right here. First update we've had in a while, so I'm very happy about that. And it is crisper and cleaner. To get rid of the glare, I just have to get different lighting, so it's positioned a different way in terms of on the pictures that are behind me. On one side, it's fine, but the other side, this one light over here hits it. So my new, it's really just a ShopRite bag. They come up with some cool bags. It says cool, cool, cool. And it's 50 degrees, and it'll get into the 40s tonight. So right now, cool, cool, cool doesn't really refer so much to a popsicle stick as it does. It has been very cool in May. We had some warm weather. And when I say warm, we had some temperatures in the 70s, but it has been a very cool week, and we had to put the heat back on in the last couple of nights. It only comes on for a little bit. And I had to go back to long pants a couple of days, But I wore my shorts today, and we we never ended up leaving the house. Tomorrow we will. Tomorrow is the Sugarloaf Spring Festival. That's where we walk up the hill and down the hill and, look at things. And there is probably going to be some live music, kind of food I don't want to eat anymore, I don't want sausage and peppers from there. If you want sausage and peppers, you just buy it at the ShopRite, and then you go to the Italian bakery and you get the authentic hard rolls, which really come from either the Bronx or somewhere like that. Could be Rockland Bakery, but I don't think so. I think they're back to getting them from the Bronx. Can you imagine how many hard rolls this place makes? Because DeFilippi's has accounts where they ship their rolls out to diners and convenience stores and what have you. But that's the way to do it. Nothing like a real hard roll. And I know some of you, when you leave the East Coast, you miss that. So here we go in 4K video. Got my other one over there that's been so loyal and trusty as a backup if we should ever need it. And Jupiter's Realm is sleeping with the windows open. Too cool here in Pennsylvania. Now, I believe next week it's going to be in the 70s, and that'll probably mean the same thing for you. So we're gonna warm up, but it has been a while. Nice camera. Chris loves Amazon. Yeah, I'll tell you. I mean, you can get stuff pretty fast sometimes. Now, if you're buying something from Japan or something, well, then you're gonna wait. And then you just never know how long, and hopefully it'll be actually arriving, and it will be exactly what they said it was. Randy Mancini says, in Maine, it's 50 and raining. Where are you in Maine, Randy? We hope to see you this coming summer for a few days. We just don't know about Karen's surgery and how she's going to react to it and when it's even going to be. It's definitely going to be after June 20th, or 50th class reunion. I send in the money for that. Send in the money for the 50th class reunion, which will be up the road at the Elks Club. And happy to do that. Hope to see some people I haven't seen in many, many years. We did have a 40th, I want to say. We had a 40th reunion at the now closed catering hall out there on Highland Avenue Extension. And that was nice. There's no before party so far. Usually the night before, everybody meets up at the mayor's restaurant here, the Old Erie, and goes up to the loft. So there's like two parties. But as far as I can tell, unless they do a last minute gathering, well, we're going to go to the Erie. So if you want to come, and then we'll have to pop on over there. But then you'll be standing at a bar or whatever. But it's cool. You'll be meeting people. There's a number of people that I would love to come that I haven't seen in years, and I think Karen feels the same way as well. Jim Collins from Franklin, Ohio is here. Hi, Jim. Very happy to see you here. I especially enjoy your brother Tom, or at least I used to enjoy him until the older bartenders retired, died, whatever. And so if you ask a 22-year-old bartender to make you a Tom Collins, they're going to look at you and say, I think I've heard of that. And then they go for the book. It's all downhill from there. They never get it right. they'll they'll send you they'll send you they'll serve you a Tom Collins that is flatter than Sandy Duncan. At least I didn't say Twiggy this time. Sandy Duncan, remember her? Yeah. So I think it looks better, Katina. I do. And we still got to work on the glare on the picture that's under my daughter Kaylee, George Magazine, and the one after, which is a picture of Pastor Bob Joyce. So we got to do that. Look at that. Well, this time I'm only 10 minutes in, though. It always feels like it's about 20 after 10 when I realize I haven't done any content yet, and I should think about it. Shelley 3 is here, and she's speaking to Tessie J. Darlene Koberstein joins us as well. 75 people watching that I know of. 23 likes. Please hit the like button and the notification bell. Elaine Peterson joins us as well. Hi, Elaine. Glad you're here. Video is sharper. Mic has reverb up. Let me see if this helps. Does that change anything? Because that lever, which Andy put up, Andy was in here setting the whole thing up, and he had to make sure he turned off. Now, I did a test. Another thing that made me late is I did a test on OBS to make sure both mics weren't on. And it didn't sound like it was. A little bit of reverb, but it goes back to the days of, top 40 radio. They would deliberately have reverb behind the DJ so he would sound like he was in an echo chamber. So did that change anything with the reverb? Neon? Mm-hmm. All I can say is it sounded pretty good when I heard it. Eddie said, if you see the level, which I can't see now, before you start off bouncing around, that means probably both mics are on, and you don't want that. He didn't really tell me how to change that. I'd be calling him. I used to drink a Tom Collins. Ooh, if it's made right, Sandra, it's delicious. It's delicious. But if the bartender's not at least 50 years old, don't order it. Or make it yourself. Marianne Rossi, not Donna Rossi, is here. Kind of a fishbowl sound. I don't know. As far as I know, and he turned it off. And when you turn it off, it should stay off. So I won't know until I hear the replay myself, As I say, I did a test and I thought it sounded pretty good. And the only thing we use on this fancy dancy control board I have is the mic. That's all. But of course, with the new camera, I do have my phone with me, right? When you're setting all this up, you have to turn that mic off. Because the two of them together would be really wild. I hope that's not what we're experiencing. It's a new gizmo, Yeah. Okay. Then I'm going to talk about Billy Smith a little bit. Yeah. Try that again. How's everybody doing on this Saturday night? Saturday, Saturday. Let's see some of the pictures on the wall. See Grayson Hall. What was the character's name? Come on, I know it like I know my own. But that's it. On monitor 1, I have 2 monitors, of course, which I would love to use to play some music for you. Anybody else say it's freezing? Or do you mean that it's freezing cold-wise? Maine is, the thing about going to Maine, we go to Old Orchard Beach, and you walk through the water. It's about all you can do. The water's cold in August. You go to the motel pool, and they don't want to put the heat on the pool water because, the price of oil has gone up and whatever. This was then. It's coming down now under President Trump. So that water is ice cold. So it's hard to find a place to swim. I mean, if you stay at a 5-star hotel, but we don't have that money. Billy Smith has a tell. I thought you were going to say a tale. Whenever he talks about E dying, he looks down or covers his eyes. I'll have to look at that on his broadcast. But I think we're okay. 47 degrees in Canada with Shelley, the campaign president for President Trump in our 51st state, Canada. Hello, Ted Richards. Welcome to you. Glad you're here. Patrick A. Spears. It's been rainy in Western New York. Oh, dear. I'm sorry, Patricia, not Patrick. Patricia Spears is rainy all week in Western New York. We had a fair amount of rain. Now, when you say Western New York, since I got my start in radio in Western New York, where are you talking about? Where are you? Are you in Buffalo? Are you somewhere in Chautauqua County? Where are you? Let's see here. I am running Summerfest in East Millinocket. Yes, a lot of reunions. Well, how about coming to Summerfest in Pine Island, New York, July 20th? That'll be a blast, I guarantee you. 3 separate heads, hijack and all, brings us up to 92 KTU. It's a former New York hot radio station before radio died. Jack, have you mentioned the news about Billy Smith? No, I haven't. I'm going to do it right now unless you have news that I don't. I have to say this is just part 1 of I try to find things fast, and the specific thing I was looking for was Billy Smith without being interrupted every syllable by the defending Elvis guy with the wife beater shirt on from the UK. That's what we call him here. And he's always wearing one, his whole thing is defending Elvis. And I think it's beginning to wear thin, if that's your only topic, because it's the same kind of thing over and over. They do it for the money. All they care about is making money off of Elvis, And we're just I'm just looking at this story in its infancy, and I don't know how much I'll be able to find. I think this involves Marty Lacker as well. Is it Lackey or Lacker? Marty Lackey. And the most interesting thing is that Elvis, this is, I don't know, somewhere in the mid 70s, called Billy in, and he said, he showed him a picture. He showed him a picture and said, who's this guy here? And he says, well, that's a picture of you, E, or Elvis. It's a picture of you. And he said, no, it's not. It's a guy who had surgery. It's a guy who had surgery to make himself look like me. It's going to be a double for me. It's going to be a double. And that's all I have on that. Now, that can't be Pastor Bob Joyce. That can't be Robert Wayne Joyce. That's impossible. Because, we're talking the mid 70s now. Robert Wayne Joyce was busy marrying Willena Hattie, possible ex-girlfriend of Elvis Presley in Germany in 1958 when she was about 15. Priscilla was 15 the very first time she met Elvis Presley. So as a joke, he and I think Marty, Billy Smith and Marty, started telling a story. Now, where they told it, to who they told it, I'm still working in the infancy of this. But if you have information on it, email me at jackthefairguy, F-A-I-R, jackthefairguy@gmail.com. I tried to find the video with no time to spare here, and I got 3 versions of the Defending Elvis guy, supposedly playing the video. But it's so annoying because, first of all, you have to wait forever for him to play the first half a second of that actual video, because he's got to make speech after speech about how all it is about making money, and it's not fair, and it's not right, and it's the same thing over and over and over, and you're just saying, just play the video. When he finally gets to the point, he's got the video up. He has better tech skills than I do. I have to do it pre-recorded. When he finally gets the video up, he doesn't let him get 3 words out, and he's stopping and making more angry remarks about how this is all for the money, And then he plays another 3 or 4 words, and he stops it again. And, play the video. Play the video for the audience. And then comment, Sometimes you want to, every once in a while, something is worthy of stopping for a second and commenting in the middle of it. But don't keep doing it. Let the audience, who's now been waiting like 12, 15 minutes, let them hear the video. Let them see the video. It's very short, and it's not the full video. So then I found it independently, and that's what I was looking for in a hurry. And I should have marked it. What's the exact title of this, When will I learn to do that? But I didn't. So, but they were saying it was just a joke, just a prank that they did, basically. But he did mention that story about Elvis showing him a picture of someone that looked very much like him, and Elvis saying that this is a double. This guy had cosmetic surgery to look more like me. And I thought, well, that's something. That's a new thing, because we know when we watch Billy Smith, all he does is talk about Elvis being dead and what have you. And he has said that Bob Joyce is not Elvis. So I've heard him say that as he sits there with his wife and the other woman on his channel. I have nothing against Billy Smith, just curious about that. But from the Defending Elvis guy from the UK, who comes on 2-3 times a day, all I see is, criticism. And of course, he loves to talk about that What Happened book written by Red West. We talked about this last Saturday night. Watch that video. Just go to the live section of this channel, the Virtual Church of the Disillusioned, and you'll be able to see that there. But I want to know a little more about this. First, I thought he was saying that they wrote a book or they did a major interview and where they said that Elvis faked his death. It's very unclear because the guy, the chap from England, I saw his name real quickly, something like David Staley, something like that. Is that right? Does anybody know that man's name? Because he doesn't put it in his regular videos, but it was in one video. And so this is, I'm bringing this on in the infancy stage, and I don't like to do that. But I thought that was just too interesting not to talk about, because we know that Billy has always talked about Elvis being dead, and now someone is pointing me to the fact that when he says that Elvis is dead, he puts his head down. So I'll be looking for that now. I'll be looking for that. Kimberly Goggin is here. Good evening. Nice to see you. Well, welcome. Where are you watching from on this Saturday night? Is it Saturday night where you are? For our Australian people, it's already Sunday afternoon. So I welcome you to Worldwide Ramblings. We do this on Wednesday and Saturday nights, usually at 10 p.m. If I can't do a Saturday night show, that usually means I'm going to do a Sunday 9 o'clock show, East Coast time. But Terry emailed me from the UK and said, when's the next live going to be? Excuse me, UK time. Because for them, it's much later. It's the middle of the night. So I said to him, well, I don't really translate times. Let's see, you're in Indonesia, so the time for you will be, I'll let you do the math, but it does tell me that we have to do some pop-ons at various times. So, someone in the UK and other places, Australia in the afternoon is not bad, but it is 4 or 5 in the morning in the UK right now, I think, something like that. And there's so many questions I want to ask my UK people about this new censorship rule. You post something that somebody finds offensive and they can have you arrested and what have you. I want to know how that's really playing out. Feel free to email me, jackthefairguy@gmail.com. Miles Wright and Tammy Griffin. It should be in your history if you started watching it. I'll try to find it. Gail George, hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. I wouldn't even know, especially when I'm live, I would to find that. I'll take a gander. There's the word history. There's that guy with his wife beater t-shirts on. Billy Smith, Elvis is not alive, defending Elvis Presley. See, it's only got 346 views, so I think it's time to move on from just coming on and yelling about anyone who's ever written what you perceive to be a negative piece on Elvis. I haven't heard you mention Pastor Bob Joyce. I'm sure you're really not thrilled with what we do. And you probably have a video on that in general, or even imagine you would go after me. But I haven't found that yet. That'll be a fun experience, I'm sure. But But thank you for that tip, because you're right, it should be here. Just got to find one that doesn't say defending Elvis Presley. So I guess it's David Stanley, right? Yeah, that's who he is, right? Keep seeing the video with the three of them lined up there, and every time it's defending Elvis Presley. But you're right, it should be here. And I think I got it. Now I'm not going to be able to cue it up like I wanted to, though. Thank you for enlightening this technological numbskull. So we'll press on that.
Find big deals at Best Buy this Memorial Day.
Let me turn that down. Best Buy is still here. See, now I can't really cue it up, though, because they do some yabbering ahead of it. They answer a few questions before that. It's his son. It's Billy Smith's son and Billy Smith's wife. All seem like nice people. Have nothing bad to say about them at all. So the video that you can check out from the Memphis Mafia Kid is Elvis alive? ? They called it that, but they don't answer just that. So we'll do a fair use clip of that. And well, I know it'll be when Billy's talking, not the son. So let me keep playing. And it's not that long ago because, well, frankly, Billy looks old. That'll help me because I know it's Billy talking. See, we're 5 minutes in and Billy hasn't said a word that I can tell. Okay, I'm going to stop it right there. So let's turn the volume up and see if we get lucky, huh? This is from Elvis Alive ? Billy Smith, his wife, Billy from the Memphis Mafia. And we'll see what we can get here.
This question is Elvis still alive? Well, let me say this. How this got started was we actually talked about one night of Elvis changing places. He was showing me a picture of himself, and he said, does this look like me? And I said, yeah. He said, well, it's not. He said, this guy's had a facelift to look like me. I said, Elvis, I said, now you can fool a lot of people. I said, but no, that's you. That's not somebody else. And so he said, I could swap places with this person and nobody'd ever know the difference. I said, again, I know the difference. I know this picture is of you and not somebody else. Well, that's led on, and I never thought about it again until after Elvis was dead. And many years, I'd always heard these fans saying, is Elvis still alive? So,
and sightings, people sightings.
Yeah, so many sightings and all this. So I thought, well, people are holding on to that. So I made this story up. Me and Marty Lackert. And it was supposed to be, that Elvis swapped places with this guy who had cancer and was dying, and Elvis hid him out in the attic until it was time for him to die. He had a facelift to look like Elvis. Naturally, Elvis wasn't going to change his looks, so the guy had to look like him. This story came out. It was, but like I said, it was supposed to be just kind of a joke, but the English paper picked it up and they wrote it as a factual story. And of course, I've heard this over the years now, and I decided, well, this is time to get this all cleared up because this is just not right. I never meant for this story to mislead anybody or hurt anybody in any kind of way. So here's the truth. Elvis died August 16, 1977. One of the hardest days of my life. And I can truthfully say he's gone and we can't bring him back. So for all those out there that asked that question or has heard this little story and took me serious, I was not serious. That was all supposed to be just in fun. And I want to tell you now, it hurts, still hurts, but he's gone.
Okay, we struck gold there by getting just the right spot. It occurred to me that if Billy wasn't speaking, that wouldn't be the clip. So there you go. There seems like there's more to it, that he doesn't tell the whole story about where they told this Elvis faked his death story and what have you. And the only thing I can say about is I'm not calling Billy Smith a liar. I'm not calling anybody a liar. We speak of possibilities. I could be wrong about the whole thing. But we've got this story with this pastor from Benton, Arkansas, that I'm not ready to believe at this point that he's not related to Elvis Presley. There's just too many things. Now a documentary being filmed. And obviously the people that are loyal to Elvis, we have to think about the possibility that they would say exactly what they were told to say. They love Elvis. And they're going to go with the story that was said way back in 1977. Gene Smith, the cousin of Billy Smith, who you just heard, said it didn't look like him at all in the coffin. It looked either like a wax dummy or some other man that they had glued a cheap toupee. He could see the glue at the top of his where this hairpiece was glued. He could see the glue. He wasn't sure what he was looking at. And when we talk about because the defending Elvis gentleman talks about this too, a dead body, that was part of the story, that the people that helped Elvis fake his death. And there was a ton of legitimate reasons for him possibly faking his death. Oh, I see. That's the people that want me to buy more virus and threat protection. Patricia Spear says definitely not Elvis in the coffin. There's a picture of a younger looking man. I'm not so convinced that it was a homeless man. Now, the man on the floor at Memphis, I think, was someone with no family that had passed away. This is the possibility. And that he was used by whoever was helping Elvis, whether it was the witness protection program or it was somebody else. I don't think being an honorary federal agent with ties to the Memphis police and other law enforcement, that Elvis might have necessarily needed to formally go in the witness protection program. They would just help him out. And it would be like being in the witness protection program with not officially being in it. I think that's possible too. So we have told the story that according to the Phil Aitchison report, a paid study to see if Elvis faked his death. He was a reporter, and other reporters that he had worked with helped him for free. They thought it was a fascinating story, and they told the story that both paramedics, as they examined the body on the floor, said that that was not Elvis Presley. That was not Elvis Presley. So, the sheer volume of things that's been uncovered in the last, since 77 and since Pastor Bob seemed to magically appear on the scene in 2011, the sheer volume of things you can point to would make it very unlikely that with enough smoke to fill up the entire state of Texas, that there's no fire here, So that's why we tell this story. We tell it in the verdict, the top 50 reasons why Bob Joyce may be Elvis, and many other videos, because you constantly have to update information, and you have to constantly realize that new people are coming on that haven't heard any of it. I got an email or a comment actually in one of the more recent videos. It was the video with Belinda Taylor's story. Well, is he Elvis? Because I really need to know. Well, I am not your local Elvis spike in the vein heroin dealer. You have to come along and watch the videos. And if you're just looking for a little fix and then on to the next guy, just go on to the next guy. Just go on to the next guy. Because this is a story that unfolds, and I'm not making definitive statements and don't want to be the guy that outs anybody that might step in the way of the Holy Spirit. That is the scariest part of this for me, not to go too far with it, And so that's where we're at. That was a new thing to learn. I did learn it from the gentleman in the UK. All I can tell you is if your sole topic is going to be to berate people that you think have done Elvis wrong, mostly years ago, no wonder your views are slowing down, because I find out there's a much bigger appetite for Bob Joyce, who many people feel is Elvis Presley, than going over and over what happened back in the 70s and 80s. From 77 on, it's a very interesting part of the story. But if that's all you do, you're not going to. After a while, it just gets played out. It's like if you come on and did 3 Bob Joyce videos a day, or too many at one time, and what have you, you burn yourself out. I've seen that happen recently in real time. You burn yourself out, and people, because they don't trust you after a while, they think that, you're not being careful on what you put up, and you're putting up other people's work, and often they can't be trusted, the people's work. It's just an AI voice that's contradicting himself. I've said this stuff before. So after a while, people say, well, he's just looking for clicks. He's just looking for clicks. So it is a story that has to be told chronologically. And if I notice someone getting a little better at that, it's just something that you have to develop. But then you have to put it in a certain order for it to make sense. And just putting up the video of Greg Pritchard going to Bob Joyce's small house in Benton, Arkansas, and Walina was there, and a barking dog, and not saying anything about it is astonishing to me, because the biggest part of the story isn't going to get told by just showing the video itself, by putting up all the lookalikes and not saying, well, this one is just simply a lookalike, because you got your lookalikes. You had them in the 70s, Elvis had lookalikes that would distract so he could get from one place to the other. And I believe they're very much around with us today. They're very much around with us today. So, Kimberly, Pastor Bob, at one of his sermons, said something that also made me think he's Elvis. Listen to that. And what is that? I'm sure Jack possibly can get that video. It's older for sure, but he's given a lot of clues, so I'm not sure which one is in your head. Now, you might have said something earlier and I missed it, because when I'm showing or a clip or playing audio, I cannot see the comment section at that time. You're saying the body in the coffin already had rigor mortis set in? I don't know. When I look at the most famous picture that someone snapped, it looks like early Elvis and potentially a wax dummy. A wax dummy. So I haven't totally given up on that theory. I know that there had to be a real body, a real dead body, on the floor at Graceland when those paramedics showed up, and that wouldn't be too hard if the government or somebody was helping you. Too many conflicting stories. Said his hands and arms were by his side, then others said his hands were crossed, then one mentioned his ring on the wrong finger, then tie was white, and then another one said that another account said the tie had stripes. Of course, no military flag, no military honors when Elvis was in the coffin. Middle name spelled wrong. The biggest insurance policy of them all, few of the little ones were cashed in, but the biggest one was not, and I don't believe has been to this day. Overbill Automotive is speaking to Patricia. I blog, therefore I am. Patricia, I feel and believe just the opposite. I'm not sure what you're referring to. The voice changes as you age. Well, of course it does. Bob Joyce would not be able to sing Heartbreak Hotel and sound like the record. Excuse me. He would not have that young rockabilly sound to him. He just wouldn't. Can he sing American Trilogy like the record? Not quite, but he can sound pretty close. I mean, look what happens when he sat down. Look what happened when he sat down one afternoon after they had a luncheon. They came back into the sanctuary for a sing-along, and he sang Can't Help Falling in Love to Walina. Sounded very much like the record then. Not as much in The Wonder of You, but he, it's always tough, especially when you don't play something a lot. You're really paying attention to the chords, and it affects how much you're able to focus on your vocals. It was good, and there were moments when you said, "Yeah, I hear a little bit of the original recording in there." If it is the original recording, I'm just speaking of something that could be. So these voice comparison guys that take Bob Joyce in 2013, 14 at the time, and then compare it to Elvis in 1962 or earlier, it's not going to sound the same. I'm not claiming that I understand all the ins and outs of voice comparison, but they never really convinced me. So welcome to Worldwide Ramblings for a Saturday night. 180 people watching. Yeah. please subscribe and like. We only have 66 likes. Please hit the like button if you like anything at all. That helps more people see us, they tell me. That's what Clinton Jaws says. So it must be right. Somebody just hit it. Thank you. Do I have another? Do I have 68? I'm starting to sound like an auctioneer. Can I have a 69? Can I have a 69? Look at that, 75. We jumped up that fast. Can we get to 100? Do I hear 100 in the room? 100 likes. 100 likes. Can we do it? Can we do it? I'm looking at the clock right now. Okay. The big hand, the second hand is on the 8. Here it comes around. The next time we get to 8, can I have 100 likes? Can I have 100 likes? If you like it, don't do it if you don't. Don't give me a fake like. No fake likes. Better be careful because I'm not sure if YouTube appreciates this. I don't do this, obviously, on any kind of a regular basis. I just thought I'd have a little fun. So we're on the 1 now. Do I have 100 likes yet? I'm not looking. 2. Coming to the 3 now on my big old-fashioned wall clock, because being an old-fashioned radio disc jockey from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and the 2000s into 2011 is when I stopped. We're at the 6 now. I love those big wall clocks along with my computer clocks and everything. Coming up to the 8 now. Coming up to the 8, and we are here. And we only have 95. We missed it by 5. Still time to hit the like button. That's funny. 96. In Lisa's book, she said she saw his PJs but didn't see his face. Then the tech at the ER saw naked legs. I can tell you when I worked EMS, we didn't remove pants to work a code. Huh. Even if it was Rob Lowe? Ha, ha, ha. That was a little joke there, Cheryl Chambers. Not when you're working a code, right? Because you're not trying to bring back that to life. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. Shame on me, downtown William Brown. Here in Fort Worth, Texas. Fort Worth now? So you're traveling. What happened in San Antonio, William? You might as well just tell us. Did you get run out of town on a rail? Did you, what happened? You don't have to tell us. Tell me in an email. Might be a good one. I don't have to tell everybody else. Check the fair guy at gmail.com. Check the fair guy at gmail.com. I know you were in one place and then you said that you were in danger of being homeless. You did say that in the thread. And then you moved to San Antonio, where my friend Deidre lives, Karen's friend. We went to school with Deidre. And then... that's a good point, Patricia. The Elvis speaking voice never changed, but he certainly knows how to alter it and play it down. But when he gets jovial and joking around, he tends to forget. That played Billy Smith speaking about his past remarks. Yeah, you can see that in the replay. As soon as we finish this show, I will try to find out exactly where that is. I will, and I'll put the start time in there because I know people come on and watch the replay and they're just coming on because of the title. 3 Severed Hits hit the thanks button for $10. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate that. We're working on our June goal right now. And, all this, I try to, especially the money that comes in from the thanks button and the tips, I try to leave a good portion of it for the future, which includes, hopefully, I just don't know how things are going to play out. I can't say there's no chance of Benton, but no chance of Hot Springs, but we'll see how Karen does and what have you. If things go really, really well, and the summer's usually our best time, I just might get in that car and say, I gotta be there and I gotta do it. And that's the way it's going to be. Karen will never do that long of a car ride. And then I'd want to go on to Texas to see my son. I blog, therefore I am $2. Thank you very, very much. With a crocodile rock. Thank you. As I say, every bit helps. $2 I'm very excited about, just like $10. And those who hit the Cash App, if you have Cash App and you want to use that, my Cash App handle is lowercase letters, Media Guy 56. Media Guy 56. MEDIAGUY 56. And you have to have that loaded in already. In the emails, we've heard from Pam Donnelly. Didn't get a chance to look at that yet. The jet thing about Elvis again, it's been around for a while. The guy has the video on it. I would love to hear, I don't know what you say in this video, Tammy, what your take, what led you to really be interested in that story. See what Pam has to say. Oh, it's another link. It's another link that I will look at. And who knows, it could end up in a pre-recorded video. We heard from Grace, I won't say the last name, and she sent us something. So why is it that I start to get a little hoarse? I'll tell you a little secret. Back in the radio days, DJs are notorious for clearing their throat many times before they open up the mic. It's just like a nervous habit. So we will help it out. We'll help things out here with a little ginger honey, huh? Ginger and honey. Oh, look at this. Elaine Peterson hit the Cash App for $10. Thank you, Elaine Peterson. I just saw that now. Media Guy, lowercase letters, MEDIAGUY 56. Media Guy 56. I think that's definitely tonight. Thank you so much, Elaine Peterson, sister of Paul Peterson from the Donna Reed Show. In my mind, you are. In my mind. If I remember Paul Peterson, the thing that was really cool about Paul Peterson is he realized how many people, including Jay North at the top of the list, God rest his soul, he passed away fairly recently, were very traumatized back in the days of Dennis the Menace. You know, they had these awful stage parents. The mother, I think, was the worst. And the woman who played Dennis the Menace's mom on the show was far more of a mother to him than his own mother, far more kind to him. And so thank you, Elaine. We'll look at what you have to say about that jet scandal. I don't know if I'm going to do a video. You're like the fourth person, though, that has said something about it. So I got to look at this.
As we start, viewers are highly encouraged to use their own judgment. The information below is only meant to be useful and fun. This is the exact evidence that was given in federal court during the Sean Diddy Combs trial, as reported by Inner City Press. A grandson of Elvis Presley named Chewy Thompson walked into court, and no one knew what was going to happen. Even the most experienced reporters would be shocked by what he said. While he was under oath, Chewy said that his grandpa, the great Elvis Presley, had been trapped in a scary underground world that was run by Diddy's dad, Melvin Combs.
Okay. This is from a video called Elvis Presley Shocking Recording Surfaces. Elvis Presley Shocking Recording Surfaces. I have a feeling that I'm not going to agree what's in this video, but you can find it and decide for yourself. Elvis Presley Shocking Recording Surfaces. I just saw that, and I'll watch the whole thing. Tammy, I will. Or was it? Let me see here. No, it was Grace. Oh, very pretty. I see you there. Very pretty person. And I think you're from the Lone Star State. So I will look into the whole thing. I'm not dismissing you or dismissing it per se, but I think it's better that I look at that off the air. And I've told people how they can look at it for themselves too. So back to the live stream. You never know what you're going to find here. It's just, we have real-time surprises now. Diddy, huh? Oh, dear. I don't know. Is there any way he could escape a harsh sentence? I kind of doubt it. Miles Wright hits the thanks button for $19.99. I think he did that last week or for some amount, and it could have been that. And I thank you so much. This is what's encouraging me that maybe, it all depends on Karen's response to surgery and recovery time. And remember, there's 3 months where she can't really do much lifting. So, but Benton is definitely on my list for this year because being thrown into the mud, that but won't be the mud they blacktopped. Oh, this could be dangerous now. The new place is blacktopped. Yeah, big time, with a big long driveway in there that somebody says is kind of reminiscent of Graceland. So thank you, Miles Wright, for hitting the thanks button for $19.99 here. Thank you, Kimberly. They only give half your name. Kimberly, $19.99 as well. Now I'll find your name here in full. Thank you so much, Kimberly. You're new to us here, and I really, really appreciate that. And again, I blog Therefore I Am for $2 and 3 Severed Heads for $10. So let me see. Katina says I have to say goodnight. Keep in prayer. The doctor gave me new medicine to try on Thursday. It may be helping some, but the asthma cough can still get pretty bad. Prayer and God bless everyone. If you were still here, I would show the picture of Katrisa that you gave me. Kimberly Goggin, I found it. Oh, good. I think you're referring to maybe the Billy Smith video. I hate to send people away in real time. Faith Lloyd, hi, Jack and everybody. I hope you know something about Karen's surgery soon. Well, as I say, on the 27th, which is a week from this coming Tuesday, she has the CAT scan. He needs that to see whether or not he's going to go in from the front or the back. And then the time frame will be developed as to when she's going to have this surgery. If we had it right after the 50th class reunion, that would make her okay for what we want to. There's a couple of life experiences, and they're all reasonably priced. I feel I always have to justify that. Like, oh, you're going to Lyndhurst Mansion, huh? It was $40. $40 to get in for the Dark Shadows reunion there. And we're going to meet people that we thought we'd never meet in our lives, assuming they show up. 83-year-old Nancy Barrett, for one, who played Carolyn Stoddard, and Pansy Faye. I know your kind, love. I know your kind, love. She said that to David Selby. And David Hennessy, little David Collins, who's now a multi-millionaire, who has a big empire in the country of Panama, restaurateur, and also coffee, and he has this chocolate, what do you call it? Karen, are you here? You could tell me what those words are. As it comes off the machine, he's so proud of this machine. It's like flakes of chocolate coming off. And he makes something, I almost want to say Cocoa Bond. And he's got a bunch of kids, and some of them are young. I think it's a second marriage. But we never thought, he doesn't do Dark Shadows events. All these years, we missed a lot of things, but we never missed David Hennessy because he never did any of them. But he's coming this time because Catherine Lee Scott, Maggie Evans, Josette Dupre, who always runs these things, invited him, and he said he'd come. So we're really excited about that. Next day is Summerfest, and the next day is an important hearing for her son. So, you know, we just don't know when we're going to do this surgery. You see, that's the thing. Mickey Coffin is here. So thank you, everyone who donated, who hit the tip jar. It's a virtual tip jar. Thank you very much. Thank you, Elaine Peterson, for hitting the Cash App Media Guy 56, Media Guy 56 for $10. Thank you. Mickey Kaufman, how can Elvis get hooked up with aliens? In my opinion, that's crazy. Why are you saying aliens? Is that what they're saying in the Diddy video? I'm not going to play that cold on the air, you know, because I don't know where that guy's going. So I'll have to hear the whole thing. I'd heard that Chewie Thompson passed away. Exactly, passed away. That he got rabies, and they weren't able to heal him of said rabies. So is it true or isn't it? Do we have to do a Chewie Thompson faked his death series? And of course, not everybody believes he's the grandson of Elvis Presley or the son of Elvis Presley. If, it's Linda Thompson's child, Chewie Thompson. I really haven't given all that part serious thought. There's enough about the Pastor Bob Joyce theory to frazzle my noodle. To frazzle my noodle. Going to say goodnight, Jack. All my meds kicked in. I know what that feels like. Karen would know even better. Be safe. Have a good holiday. It's Memorial Day, a day where we remember the soldiers that gave everything for us. They went with the best intentions, but they also wanted to come home, and they didn't. So we may be cooking hamburgers and hot dogs on the grill. We won't be doing that. We don't have an outside grill anymore. Let's say a prayer and let's be thankful. Let's thank God for those veterans that gave everything for the United States of America. And I would add that, and as we're heard around the world, be the same thing, I don't know how you honor your service people that passed away. I'm not sure. But a good man, a good woman who goes to serve their country is just that. No matter where they do it from, especially if obviously I'm not saying, well, if you're in Hamas and, your intentions were good. No, that's an evil organization, of course. So, yeah, of course, we've talked about that. We've talked about the death of Chewie from rabies. So this is all breaking kind of while we're on the air. Kimberly says, I actually watch Jack all the time. I've seen him live a few times, but hard to get him live. I'm not always available. Him live or me live, or who did you see live, Kimberly? Can't miss that British guy. He comes on 3 times a day. Got a cute daughter with her stuffed, got a dot. She has a dolly. I don't watch the TikTok videos much. I just don't. Elvis does not. Elvis, slip of the tongue. Bob Joyce has made it very clear he does not have a TikTok account. He doesn't go on TikTok. He doesn't go on Instagram. It's just what they have here on Facebook, bobjoyce.org. Bobjoyce.org, or the Household of Faith site, the Household of Faith site. So we're getting close to the new church. Did you hear anything, Belinda? Are you still here? That's what I forgot to ask you. Did you hear anything about the start date of, is it June 1st? It may be June 1st for the new sanctuary, but you can have a start date, then this goes wrong and that goes wrong, and you have to push it back a little bit. Lost my uncle in the Korean War. He is still MIA. Yeah. So you often wonder, if he was a POW, right? You wonder if he was a POW. But now that we're talking Korean War, I think that, he's obviously not being held prisoner anywhere. I learned about Elvis and Pastor Bob from you, all your possibilities. Yeah. Well, thank you, Kimberly. I appreciate that. Does Brother Bob Joyce, does his service go live on YouTube? No. They edit it, and they put it up about 6 or 7 o'clock Central Time. My understanding is that Stacy, this may have changed by now, but I don't think so. Stacy puts up the sermon part, and Tom Joyce, the son of Elvis, could be. I don't know. He does the music part, and also Tom Joyce often does the Wednesday Bible study. We showed him recently. I have to remember to keep pictures on my phone in the ready, because I don't have any Google photos of. I haven't sent any photos out to Google. Here's the picture of the man who opened the door when Greg Pritchard came to visit Bob Joyce. Walina was there, in a dog, small house. And of course, I believe that that's Robert Wayne Joyce, who she married in 1975, who would be in his 70s. Some people have him as young as 60, 68. Now he's younger than me. I mean, the pastor that we see on camera most times, So, and as we have shown before, Robert Wayne Joyce, when he was young, around the time he married Walina Hattie in 1975 in the state of Texas. Obviously, he didn't look like Elvis. Elvis was very much active then. But as he got older, he did look like Elvis. Would he have had plastic surgery himself at some point to look more like Elvis? I'm not saying he did. There's the wedding picture of Sabrina. Is that Robert Wayne Joyce? Look in the eyes. Or do you think that's the man we see most Sundays? I used to say all Sundays on camera. Different hairstyle completely, of course. Different hairstyle completely. Here's the new sanctuary, the altar part of the new sanctuary. It's more has been completed since this photo was taken, but that's the altar. Here's our guy. That right there in case he comes on. And we showed this last week. In the middle is the picture of the man who showed up at the door. He has brown eyes, this man, not blue. But Bob has been known to wear contacts, or Elvis himself wore contacts, they say, from time to time, perhaps for a movie role, I'm itchy all of a sudden. Are all three of those people the same man? I don't think so. I think we see a man who looks very much like Elvis Presley on the left and the right. And I might add, looks like he could be 90 years old. That rugged look, more hair in the front coming down, thicker hair in the front. Some people say, where's a piece? I get it. But at Mar-a-Lago, when he showed up with Walina, he had a lot of hair coming down in the front, like he was due for a haircut. I think he wanted to show us that he's not wearing a hairpiece. So I showed you that one picture. Always found this to be interesting. Now it'll just disappear magically when I'm looking to find it. Things just disappear on me. Yeah, it's disappeared. Not the first time this happened to me. Okay, here it is. Now the other one will disappear. So, the wedding of Sabrina Joyce with her father, Robert Wayne Joyce. Look in the eyes. Now, it appears at the same wedding, I'm not 100% positive on this, there was another man in attendance with a totally different hairstyle. This goes back a number of years. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Food for thought. Food for thought. So are you really defending Elvis Presley fans want the truth? Are you the gentleman from England? Or is that really you here? David, right? Stanley? Am I saying your name right? Or are you someone that used that handle and now I'm not really sure? Probably can come up with a question that only you would know if I think about it, because I've been watching you a little bit. Are you that gentleman that says yeah a lot, which I know British people do? It sounds really cool the way they say it. You know, it's just like something like Hugh Grant would do. And I'm a big Hugh Grant fan. What do you think of Hugh Grant? Do Brits like Hugh Grant like we like him over here? Yeah, I watched your video. I watched the whole video. But if that's really you, I kept waiting to see that video and you kept interrupting it. So I was hoping you would just play the video and then comment on it. I just wonder if I'm really talking to you, David. Am I? You're Lewis. Now I'm confused. Now I got to go back to my history here. Who's David Stanley then? See, I don't know. It's so hard. Here's the video. Is Elvis alive? Memphis Mafia Kid. That's where you can see the video uninterrupted. And on my history, Billy Smith, Elvis is not alive. Why did you do it? Elvis deserves better. Defending Elvis Presley, fans want the truth. Is that you with me right now? Lewis doesn't sound like a British name either. Let's see. Just going down my list. David Stanley and Stalkers. David Stanley and Stalkers. So maybe you're talking about David Stanley defending Elvis Presley. So, David was the topic. So you're the gentleman that has the cute little daughter who has a doll that comes into your, she wants to talk about her doll. That's you, for sure? Yes, it's me. My parents are Greek. Cypriots? Okay. Well, you've got a wonderful broadcast voice, a wonderful presence. I have 5 kids. Yes, she's 5. Oh, okay. So, yeah, you come on like 3 times a day, and I think you said you had a job outside of doing that. Have you talked about Pastor Bob Joyce would be the question. Wait, I want to take a chance and have you send me an email, and we'll just put you on live. Would you be interested in the audio live? Would you? I can't do it split screen. The only way I've been able to do Zoom is somebody sends me a link to join them, and then I join them. That's how I do it with Gene Ho, who was, the campaign photographer for President Trump, and did it recently. I can't talk about any of that. And, that's how I do it. I know, Bob. Well, I'll know right away from your voice if it's you. If you want to email me, my email is jackthefairguy@gmail.com. jackthefairguy@gmail.com. FAIR, jackthefairguy@gmail.com. If you want to come on live and talk to me, you're one of the big programmers. Certainly on this topic. Wouldn't it be funny if Billy Smith was watching right now? Hey, he could come on too. I can't do 2 calls at once, though. I'm too technologically impaired. That's just a thought. I can always block your number if you're a put on. Sorry, it's the middle of the night. Well, that's true. You're retired. You're so young, though, with a big mop of hair, too. You realize these shirts you wear over here, we call them white beater shirts, but I know you're just trying to show your muscles and your tattoo. I get it. You're 57. Oh, you don't look 57 at all. I would judge your age to be, 38, 40, something like that. So I think that we ought to save it for a pre-recorded video. I'd love to chat with you, on the whole Bob Joyce thing and what have you. You'll be 58 in July. So please hit my email up and we'll put that together. You don't throw away something that could be really good, even if it's contentious. You don't throw it away on the spur of the moment. And I'd like time to think about what I'm going to ask you, and maybe you think about what you'd like to say, but I would cordially invite you, since I've been watching you for the last, first saw you a couple of months ago, I guess. And so we can talk about that. Then the question comes, which Bob were you talking to? Because there was a denial made at the pulpit when they were back in the strip mall. We go into great detail here about the fact that I've been talking about this since 2018 when I began the topic, that there are 2 Bob Joyces. There's Robert Wayne Joyce, who married Walina Hattie, in 1975. I'm going for my stack of pictures now. Robert Wayne Joyce may have been a pastor, possibly at first in the Methodist Church in the state of Texas. And he is the person who I believe shows up in the video. Watch my video, shocking new Bob Joyce video, and you see Greg Pritchard going to his house. Young Robert Wayne Joyce right there obviously doesn't look much like Elvis at all. Then we see young Robert Wayne Joyce in the service, I believe in Germany. Isn't that a hoot? Has nothing to do. It would have been a different time than Elvis was in the service, because we think Robert Wayne Joyce is about 73 now. But this gentleman here, as he got older, and I don't know if he had any work done to help this, he did look more like Elvis. But those Elvis eyes are not there. They're stern. They're stern. Yes, maybe some of my audience here has questions for you. Fire them on. I'm sure some of you have seen this gentleman. He's pretty well known. I've only watched some of Billy Smith's, so that's a whole other topic right there. Is there 73-year-old Robert Wayne Joyce, and then is there 90-year-old Elvis Presley? And I think this picture right here with the guy in the middle is the guy who answered the door on April 5th. That's when they had the effects of tornadoes that had been in the area, and they had to cancel service. The guy in the middle with the smooth face, not as much hair in the front. And then we have the guy, we have two pictures of the pastor that's on camera most Sundays. Does that man look like he could be 90 years old? Do people that go to the church and hug him that are in the healthcare field tell me he feels elderly? You can't tell me, Lewis, that guy doesn't look like Elvis Presley. You can't tell me that the guy who sang American Trilogy, kind of forced to by his son, Matt Joyce, at Denton's and Benton's in 2011, when he was forced to go to full voice as in this nightclub, as everybody was shooting video and snapping pictures, and he was nervous doing this thing that Elvis used to do all the time. Well, see, you can't tell me that voice didn't sound like Elvis Presley. So we have to have a talk. We have to have a talk. Oh, Joanne. Yeah, I've heard you mention her. Is it Joanne or Joni? It's Joanne. Emailed me. I heard you mention her name and a few others that was being discussed on this show. Yeah, well, we've been doing this since 2018, but I didn't start going live until 2023. I did the first 6 years of this free. Didn't make 5 cents. So, but I thought the topic was fascinating, and I knew that I had found the golden ticket, because before that I would get, except when I talked about Bishop Carlton Pearson, the evangelist now passed away, who gave up his faith in Jesus Christ. Except when I did that, I never got that many. I got 4,000 views with Carlton Pearson, but that topic didn't have the legs that this has. There's a documentary being done right now, Lewis. There's a documentary being done. So we shall see what that yields. So we have to talk in an email and what have you. I always show respect to people as long as they're kind. People usually say that about me. They say that I'm kind. I can tell you, that at this little church, and they're getting ready to move into a bigger one that will not solve the problem because it's not big enough, 10 minutes away from where they are now, outside of Benton, but still in the same county. I'm losing my train of thought. They tell me that people from all over the world are going to this little church. It only seats 150. The rest end up in an overflow room. 25% of the people in the sanctuary are regular members from Benton. The other 75% are visitors. One particular Sunday, there were 13 countries represented. 13 countries represented in that little sanctuary. People are now showing up. It's becoming, they say, like a Donald Trump rally. In fact, Gene Ho told me this, who goes to Household of Faith every Sunday with his family, lives in Hot Springs, Arkansas. In Hot Springs, August 15th, 16th, and 17th, the second George Magazine live event will be held. On Sunday, Pastor Bob Joyce will bring the Household of Faith service to the Bank OZK Arena. That's about 4,000 seats. There's more, but only if they have basketball. That makes no sense to me at all. That's how it was put to me. So there's about 4,000 seats. Last year at Hot Springs at the Horner Hall Theater, he filled 1,000 seats. People come from all over and stay in hotels and what have you. You can go to Friday, Saturday, Sunday. He showed up on Saturday in the hallway of the Hot Springs Convention Center and got mobbed. He's different in a situation like that. He's not preaching under the anointing of God. People say he gets about 20 years younger the moment he starts to preach or sing. And, we've covered so many, 7, 8 dozen coincidences. I don't know if you probably, Louis, are familiar with George Klein, the Memphis disc jockey that ended his radio career. I'm a radio guy since 1977. I'm not on the radio anymore. He was on the Sirius XM Elvis channel. He was the main guy, and before that he was playing Elvis on the big AM station to the left of the dial. And I think it was Elvis Presley himself who called him his best friend. And one day invited him down to the Cadillac dealership, saying he just wanted to speak with him. The Memphis Mafia were there. And he handed him the keys to I think a yellow with white interior convertible Cadillac and said, "That's for you." So when George Klein passed away, I wanted to know, everybody wanted to know, is Bob Joyce, a pastor from this tiny church, going to be at George Klein's funeral? So we showed a picture. I don't have a really good copy of what looked like the back of the head of Bob Joyce and Matt Joyce, is what I would say is not his son, not his real son, but someone who he loves and I can't say raised him because he would have been too old at the time. This is something I have a terrible copy of. There's better copies of this. This is the Lisa Marie funeral service booklet. Could easily be faked. And there's better copies you can find of this. If you've never seen this, you probably have. And it says that officiating the service is Pastor Bob Joyce from Rolling Hills. Rolling Hills is a development that Elvis bought a home for Vernon and then sold it just before his death in 1977. He gave the eulogy. Mr. Butler was there singing the opening and closing hymn, and then Tom Presley, whose music you can find. So just so many things. This story just keeps going and going. And now with a documentary being filmed, I think I have permission to say authorized by Pastor Bob Joyce. Who knows what's coming down the pike? Even if everything I have spoken about as a possibility is wrong, this is still, to me, the second greatest story ever told, not by the mainstream media. So there's a lot of legs here. There's a lot of legs. And the blurry picture of what looks to be Pastor Bob Joyce in front of Graceland, it was blurry to begin with. And tell me that's not Lisa Marie right next to him. This goes back a number of years. So there's, what was I looking for? I'll know it when I see it. And then, of course, Elvis Presley with the lady. Someone said, "Oh, that's Sigrid Schutz." Not you say Schultz, it's Schutz. Sigrid Schutz. But a lot of people feel that's Willina. A lot of people feel that's Willina, who is married to Robert Wayne Joyce, and is at Household of Faith every Sunday. Great picture of Elvis with Wink Martindale, who we lost recently. Great guy, two great guys together. I never say bad things about Elvis. I read the Albert Goldman book. I guess I'd be very interested. Have you done a video on the Albert Goldman book? So, well, email me, jackthefairguy@gmail.com, and maybe we can do at least a little, a pre-recorded thing on that. Yeah, I think you're very talented. I say it was a little frustrating trying. I was so eager to. I had not heard about this Billy Smith video, and you kept interrupting it. That annoyed me. But I want to know more about that because who did he? Did they? It was him and Marty that were involved with telling the story. In this little video, Billy Smith just brushes past it. It seems like he's not telling the whole story. Did he do an interview in a publication saying Elvis faked his death? I don't want to steal your content. I know how that goes. You might want to do all this content and go ahead. But there's more questions that I would have, Belinda Taylor, who's in our latest visit to Bob Joyce's church last Sunday. Her video is doing very well. I think has about 2,600 hits. That's good for me. I don't get big hits. My biggest video is The Verdict, which is about coming up to 250,000 views. That's my biggest one. I pray you get to go to. A lot of people want to go to Household of Faith. Belinda, did you learn anything about whether there is going to be some kind of an overflow room at the new church, which is a former horse barn that they've been working on feverishly? Pastor Bob Joyce is definitely a carpenter. He has carpentry skills. That's interesting. Mike, I don't think Bob is Elvis, but I do think Elvis uses Bob's identity to get around, and Bob helps him. Okay, I'll have to think about that one. So you think Elvis is alive, but you think he's somebody else. Okay. I don't mind people talking about my content. Well, heck, you and I both know that publicity helps. I can't say there's no such thing as bad publicity, because that there is, but I'm promoting you and people are going to tune in because of it. And just like, if you were to do the same, people, like there's one guy that has a channel. I still won't mention the name of the channel, but his whole channel is devoted to in really quick hits with music like Don't want to be an American idiot. Bum, 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 bum. You know, he's come close to libeling me, calling me a liar and what have you. But whatever, I find out that really his efforts only seem to help my views. So, you know, why do you like my show? I'm always interested why people watch. Well, first of all, you know, I see the broadcast talent right away. That catches you. I think you seem sincere, and that you have a passion for what you do. I think I could possibly learn something from you, like I just learned about the Billy Smith thing. I did not know Billy and Marty. Is it Lackey or Lacker? It's Lackey, right? I did not know that they once told that story. Somebody interesting, see if you find this to be true, said that when, wow, I can't believe it's almost 2 hours. This is the most, we did 2 hours and 45 minutes Wednesday night. That broke my record. And, you know, it was just amazing. It was just absolutely amazing. We don't have some of our regulars here tonight. If we do, they're under a different title. Jack, would you consider taking emails from us with our thoughts, theories, then bring them here and we could talk about it? It all depends. Yeah, I mean, it works for some people, but absolutely, you don't have to be famous with a channel for that to be a possibility. Nancy was on once. I assume at some point Todd Bradshaw is going to be on. The thing about when you do a radio talk show and you go to a call and it's not a great call and you don't, the thing that somebody like Sean Hannity or the late great Rush Limbaugh, I'm not sure who's big in the UK. It used to be Michael Jackson, right? Not the Michael Jackson you're thinking about, but we got him here finally in the States. A very distinguished gentleman, British gentleman, Michael Jackson, who's long passed away now, but he was terrific. And anytime you take calls in a scenario like a talk radio show, if the call isn't working, you have to dump it, go on to the next one. Well, here I'd be offending somebody. I don't have 20 million people watching, and I'm not the type of person that wants to offend somebody. So we would have to talk in advance about what you want to talk about, because you might have a whole other agenda you want to go into, and it might be too weird, or I would say, oh boy. One of the things I found is when I go off topic to other things I care about, whether it be politics or what have you, the views go way down. It's just my lot in life, People will let me talk a little bit about other issues if I get Bob Joyce in there. So what I have found, Lewis, is that Bob Joyce is the cat's meow. I mean, when I do just an Elvis video showing, as I did some Bill Bixby footage and other things, the views are not as big if I don't make a Bob Joyce connection in the same video. That's what I have found. So, and I think most creators that are monetized are making money and want to make money, and you have to get 1,000 views in your video to do that, to start to make any money at all. For me, I'm just trying to supplement a very small retirement that got a lot smaller when a portion of my pension went to the mother of my children, So I don't want to stand in. I'm 69. I'll be 70 years old next March. I don't want to stand in Walmart and be a greeter, So I want to use my broadcast talent, which I developed it at the Connecticut School of Broadcasting in 1974, and then I started my first radio job in 1977 here in the States. Right up the hill, right up the road, I worked for a legendary broadcaster who's still on WABC on Saturday nights at 87 years old, Cousin Bruce Morrow. So that was one of the highlights of my playing music on the radio career. Shannon Hughes talking to Belinda. Hi, Shannon Hughes. Welcome, welcome. Chris Starry, how are you feeling, Chris Starry? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Keep Chris Starry in your prayers. I always miss Brenda and time to show the photo. I'm not Brenda, but Katina. So hopefully, Louis, you have my email and we can talk about that. And, you would be welcome to share it on your channel as well, your channel as well. And I don't mind if people disagree with me. My intentions are good. I'm not trying to. I'm a big Elvis fan, but not the kind of Elvis fan that saw all his movies. And I've never been to Graceland. I was the guy that got real excited playing Elvis music on my radio shows. One of my favorites being "The Wonder of You." So when he sang that, when Bob Joyce sang that at Household of Faith a few weeks back, we put up the link for it because I didn't want to get a strike, that was very popular. People wanted to experience that. And of course, when he sang "I Can't Help Falling in Love," wow. But the biggest thing if you have Spotify, go to Spotify and find Bob, I think it's still up, the original version of Bob Joyce. That's what it says, Bob Joyce singing "He Hideth My Soul." I do play this in a video, and I wish I could tell you exactly what video it is. It's old. There's no doubt in my mind that's Elvis Presley. So how does he get to put up Elvis Presley singing "He Hideth My Soul," which was probably a song that ended up on the cutting room floor from one of his gospel albums way back when, Oh, there's a lot of things we should talk about. That new occult book that came out, Elvis and the Occult and what have you. So I hope I hear from you. So 145 watching right now. My goodness, that's good. 123 likes. Yes, please hit the like button, the notification bell. If you can hit the thanks button for a few bucks, get us up to our goal for really it's the third week in June we're working on now. The new camera that we debuted tonight was paid for from the Google YouTube money I received just a few days ago. It came in the mail very quickly. So I think we're cleaner and crisper now. I've still got to work on my lighting. Hey, Warren Wilson. Let me see. Warren Wilson, does he like me or does he not like me? I don't think he likes me. Let's see what he says. Apparently, word got out and Elvis suspected a mole close to his inner circle. Whilst Elvis recording his last album in Jungle Room, he took something upstairs and returned with a machine gun. That's one of those wild claims, Warren. So how do you verify that? How do you mend a broken heart, Shannon Hughes? How do you stop the rain from coming through? Yes, since we have a higher count, we're getting new people. Jerry and Crystal Stokes. Hi, Jack. Hi. Welcome. It hit him out of nowhere, and I feel like a wrecking ball hit me. Really? So you're having a conversation. I'm coming in the middle of it, trying to figure it out. I guess you're not a foe. For a moment, Warren, I thought, boy, not sure if Warren likes me. Robert Gaylor, not to be confused with Robert Taylor. Hi, Jack. Just wanted to say hi, Robert from Oklahoma. Yeah. I guess this time you escaped the round of tornadoes that went into London, Kentucky. Anybody from Kentucky here that was dealing with that? we get quite a few Kentucky people, and I was wondering if anybody was affected from my audience. I know 19 people was the last I heard died. Other things are happening in the world, and we're certainly willing to talk about them. It's hard. I almost lost my son in 1994. He had CP, was 7 years old. I also lost my son in 1994. He had CP. And back then, they didn't have the treatments they have now, right? I know with MS, they can keep you going forever now. But back in the day, I remember this kid, I knew his brother, Pat. They lived in the same development. Shortly after my father died in 1967, we moved to this development. And Jimmy was in a wheelchair, and he had MS, and everyone knew he wasn't going to live a long time. But today, I mean, how long has Montel Williams been living with an MS diagnosis? John King, CNN, former newsman before he caved into the progressive nut jobs, and now I have lost all my respect for him and his former. I guess they were married. They have a child together. I had the name and it's gone. I mean, the one who alternates with Jake Tapper, Dana Bash, who also was married to Jeremy Bash, who was a likable commentator, but I guess he went woke too. Just a shame. Jimmy Samples, how are you? Jimmy from West Virginia. Welcome. I blog there 4 a.m. By the way, I have a ton of dishes to do downstairs. After my big broadcast here, I've got to go do dishes. It's a little after midnight already. But the same thing is happening that happened last Wednesday night. We started getting popular at the end. People started hitting those thanks button. How could I leave? If you can, for any amount, hit the thanks button. $2, $3, $1.99, $5. Or if there's someone who's been blessed and can give more, it certainly takes away from my stress. The best way for bigger tips, because it's a virtual tip jar. That's all it is. I declare it at the end of the year. Worked out for me. I was really nervous about that. I said to her, anything that I paid out is an expense because it's always to the same person, and anything that I received was a tip. So it's really easy to figure out. And it worked out. That's how low my income level is. Jerry and Crystal say, Jerry, storms moving in tonight? Perry, Oklahoma. Oh, Jerry is saying that storms are moving in tonight. For a moment, I thought you were talking about James Storm. Do you know who James Storm is? Only if you're a Dark Shadows fan do you know who James Storm is. I'm not talking about the Johnny Depp movie. So we have this is our new 4K camera. Now, earlier, Neon was saying that he thought that it made my mic sound a little bit like I was in a fishbowl. How does the mic sound, everybody? If it was real echoey, it would mean somehow the mic on the camera that we turned off turned back on by itself, and now I have two mics, and that you don't want that. You don't want that sound. But that's the new mic. That as soon as I got that Google money on the 21st, I said, we've got to order this camera, and hopefully it'll be around for Saturday night. It sounds tinny. All right, tinny. I'll have to see if Andy can work on that. I like your new camera. Thank you. Yeah, I think it's crisper. I think it's nicer. And I'm happy about that. Sounds good. You say it sounds good. Yeah. The mic itself is a Rode microphone. It's the same one we've been using. I'm very happy with it. I notice a lot of podcasters use it. I'm not doing a podcast, but they are, like the Orange County Chopper Boys, Paul Tuttle Jr., and he's been having Mikey on a lot. If anybody watched Orange County Choppers, it's coming back, by the way, but without Paul Jr., but with Mikey. Out in Clearwater, Florida. That's where they are now. That's where Senior is. Some of you will know what I mean. Some of you won't. Fancy Nancy. And if I've missed some good comments, I'm sorry. It's been heavy tonight. 146 watching. So some people like the mic quality and some people don't. Most people like the camera. They said my son would make it past 6 months, says Sue. Blue Sky Sons is here. Hi. No, but I left before the tornadoes in Kentucky. Have you been back since? More weather going on here in Oklahoma. How far are you from Nancy? Jackie Organ saying hi to Warren. Gotta go, Jack. 5 a.m. Prayers to all. Thank you, 3 severed heads. Thank you for hitting the thanks button. I appreciate that very much. Or the Cash App, which is lowercase letters, Media Guy 56 for any amount. Yeah. Well, I think hopefully I get a chance to talk to the defending Elvis gentleman, whose channel you can find here. I think we will. If he has a Zoom, we could do Zoom. If I can just click on a link and we're there, he'll own it at that point, but hopefully he'll let me broadcast it too. Today, there's a background noise like a tap tripping. I hear the, because this mic doesn't normally pick up too much background noise. Like if Brad were playing the organ really loud, you'd hear him. He's in bed now. But sometimes vehicles go by at a very loud, or, you know, the fire trucks. And when I hear the playback, which I'm going to hear it as I'm doing my dishes downstairs on the other side of the duplex. Belinda knows defending Elvis. Yeah, I hope we get to chat more. So Belinda, if you're still here, did you hear anything about an overflow room? You know, if you didn't ask the question and no one said anything, I understand. I'm just curious because I don't know if they're really going to get 300 seats in there because they've made so many little rooms and stuff. I don't know, but it won't be enough. In the summer months, it won't be enough. Karen Green is listening from Texas. She would watch, but she says, I have a face for radio and a voice for print. Nice to have you here, Karen Green. What part of Texas are you in? I will be visiting Texas this year to see my son, who's in the outside of Austin. Nancy says, Jack, my son said the storms last night knocked out neighbors, knocked a tree down. We have that happen here and had our patio furniture all over the yard. Yes, I answered you, but you didn't see it. So one more time, so I don't have to go on a massive search. Did you hear anything about an overflow room? Miss Belinda Taylor, who's got her own video now, and she's the thumbnail. Last month, I got a tree knocked over, says overbuilt transmission. I mean, overbuilt automotive. See, this is why we have to pop on at various hours. So for the UK, because I want to find out about the UK, and I'll ask that question if we get a chance to about these sort of censorship rules and stuff. Oh, you offend somebody and they can arrest you, because of your opinion. That's terrible. I hope that's being overblown and not really being practiced. So, 127 now, 131 likes. Thank you very much for the likes. Appreciate that. Okay. Belinda's going to actually answer me. I know you did before and I missed it. When I was there last Sunday, he said it should be a few more weeks, but no set date. He also joked in passing when I was there, that if the church barn gets packed, he'll put us in the woods. If there was a what is OVE? Get down with OPP. Does Household of Faith have a newsletter? I think their newsletter is their website, right? Some people said they'll take the old church and make that the overflow room. Then afterwards, you'll have to drive down there and see it. That could happen, right? As Gene told me, it's only 300 seats, and that is what they thought at that time it could be that many. So that's not enough. It's enough on a wintry day, but it's not enough in the summertime and most other times. Defending says Bob Joyce is not Elvis, and that Bob Joyce personally told him that he wasn't. Yeah, that comment didn't surprise me. It didn't surprise me, that comment. Then I said, which Bob Joyce were you talking to? Were you talking to the one in the small house or the big house? He told whichever Bob Joyce we're talking about, in my opinion, said that to Spa Guy, remember? Spa Guy's video. He's not Elvis. I asked him. I thought, why would he want to talk to 60 Minutes or Dateline or I can understand why I wouldn't want to talk to George Stephanopoulos, but he'll give me the exclusive. I'll just show up at the door and I'll get the exclusive. And then unicorns will begin dancing in the yard magically. Then we'll realize we were all in a parallel universe and everybody's really dead anyway. You ever see those videos? I check them out sometimes. So they're always entertaining. So we need, they even talked about a tent, but it's not so easy to cool a tent. It's easy to heat a tent with those heaters. I don't know if I've ever seen a tent that was cool before. Oh yeah, it's over here now. So, I'll also like to end with some scripture reading. We can talk about this topic and its entertainment and what have you. And I think it's okay to have a little entertainment. I think it's all right to go out on a boat. I think it's all right to play a little baseball. It's good for, exercise is certainly something you could find is okay in the Bible and what have you. But it's not supposed to ever be an obsession. It's not supposed to ever be something that that becomes like a god to us. It's just something fun to talk about. Just like you can use the internet for a tool, your device, your phone is a tool, but don't spend your life buried in a screen. Don't spend your life buried in a screen. Colossians 4, beginning with verse 2, devote yourselves to prayer, being watchful and thankful, and pray for us too. This is Paul writing to the Colossians, that God may open a door for our message so that we may proclaim the mystery of Christ, for which I am in chains. Paul suffered for the gospel of Jesus Christ. Pray that I may proclaim it clearly, and I should be wise in the way you act. Pray that I may proclaim it clearly as I should. Be wise in the way you act toward outsiders. Make the most of every opportunity. Let your conversation be always full of grace, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how to answer everyone. That's from Colossians 4 in the NIV. So there you go. Pray for Chris Starry. I don't know if she gave us an update. Pray for Deborah Lake. Pray for Brenda Noyce, Brenda Sweeney. Pray for Katrisa. I'm still waiting to show that photo when Katina is actually here. She comes and goes pretty quickly sometimes. You can always post your own prayer needs in the replay section of this video. It should be available as soon as we say goodnight, which we're about to do for this Saturday night, the 24th. We'll be back on with Worldwide Ramblings Wednesday night, but I think we'll do a pop-on before that at a whole different hour. One time you probably won't see me as 9 a.m. Eastern because I'm just not up. But if I were, I might just throw on my hat, push my hair back, throw on a hat, and come on and just do something for people that are never going to see us in this time slot because it's so late in the UK. It was nice to have the LOUIE, the defending Elvis gentleman, here tonight. And Billy Smith is welcome too, and his wife. And I'm sorry, I'm forgetting the other woman's name. But that's what happens at this age. I forget. Thank you, Ted Richards. Ted Richards is someone else to pray for. You want to give us an update, Ted? Kathmandu, I like that. Kathmandu. Trying to remember when I first heard Kathmandu and in what context. Is it referred to in a song or a movie? I can't remember. Shauna, also my sisters now. Shauna. Unicorns are real animals, look nothing like the fantasy version. I might have known that you would have said that, Neil. Well, you send me a picture then of a real unicorn, okay? You do that. Love to see the family here. Good night, everyone. So there you go. There you go. Worldwide Ramblings for a Saturday night, going into early Sunday morning now. We did not crash this time. That's wonderful. So make sure you subscribe, hit the like button if you like anything at all, and that notification bell, because we will be popping on at some point, popping on to pop off, and we'd love to have you know that we're on and join us at that time, if not Wednesday night at 10 p.m. East Coast time. Have a terrific Sunday. Bye-bye for now.